911, what's your emergency?
I called a little bit ago, the deputy sheriff. I found out my granddaughter has been taken. She has been missing for a month. We're talking about a 3-year-old little girl. My daughter finally admitted that the baby's in the store. I need to find her.
Your daughter admitted that the baby is where?
But the babysitter took her a month ago. My daughter's been looking for her. I told you my daughter was missing for a month. I just found her today, but I can't find my granddaughter. And she just admitted to me that she's been trying to find her herself. There's something wrong. I found my daughter's car today, and it smells like there's been a dead body in the damn car.
Okay, what is the 3-year-old's name?
Kaylee, Caylee, Anthony.
Kaylee Anthony?
Yes.
How long has she been missing for?
I have not seen her since the 7th of June.
Is your daughter there?
Yes.
Can I speak with her?
Okay, Spanish Sheriff's Department, they want to talk to you. Answer the question. Hello?
Hello?
Yes.
Can you tell me what's going on a little bit?
I'm sorry?
Can you tell me a little bit what's going on?
My daughter's been missing for the last 31 days.
And you know who has her?
I know who has her. I've tried to contact her. I actually received a phone call today, now from a number that is no longer in service. I did get to speak to my daughter for about a minute.
Who has her? Do you have a name?
This story still divides people to this day, and by the end, you are going to have to decide for yourself what would you do. It was the summer of 2008 in Orlando, Florida. A 2-year-old little girl named Kaylee Anthony was missing, but here is where it gets disturbing. She was not reported missing right away, not after a day, not after a week. It had been 31 days before her mother, Casey Anthony, finally called 911. Listen closely, because her words would shock the nation. She told the operator that her daughter had been kidnapped by a nanny no one had ever actually seen. She claimed she had been searching on her own, too afraid to call the police, but something did not feel right, and investigators quickly picked up on it. When police started digging deeper, Casey's story began to fall apart. She led detectives to a job at Universal Studios, only to admit she did not even work there. She talked about people who did not exist, lied about places she had never been, and all the while her daughter was still missing. So ask yourself, if you were the investigator sitting across from her, would you believe her, or would you think something much darker was going on? Days turned into weeks, weeks into months, and still no Kaylee. But what they did find was chilling. In Casey's car, investigators reported a strong smell, one they believed was consistent with decomposition, and in the trunk there were traces that raised even more questions. But even then there was no body, no clear answers, just a growing sense that something was very wrong. Then in December 2008, everything changed. A utility worker discovered remains in a wooded area not far from the Anthony home. It was Kaylee. The little girl at the center of it all was gone. Now the entire country was watching. Casey Anthony was arrested and charged with first-degree murder. Prosecutors claimed this was a case of a mother who wanted freedom, who saw her child as something holding her back. They pointed to her behavior in the weeks Kaylee was missing. Photos of her out partying, smiling, living life as if nothing had happened. So now, ask yourself, if your child was missing, would you be acting like that, or would you be doing everything possible to find them? But the defense told a completely different story. They claimed Kaylee had accidentally drowned in the family pool, and that Casey's father helped cover it up. They argued that Casey had been living in fear, manipulated, unable to tell the truth, and suddenly the case was not so simple anymore. Two completely different versions of what happened, both hard to fully prove during the trial. The prosecution presented evidence they believed pointed to guilt, including internet searches from the family computer, questions about chloroform and how long it takes for someone to die, but the defense pushed back, arguing that the evidence was circumstantial, that there was no direct proof Casey intentionally killed her daughter. No eyewitness, no clear cause of death, just questions, assumptions, and doubt. And in a courtroom, doubt can change everything. So let me ask you, if you were sitting on that jury, what would you do? Would you focus on her behavior, the lies, the feeling that something was not right? Or would you hold on to the fact that there was not enough clear evidence to prove guilt beyond a reasonable doubt? After weeks of testimony, the jury reached a verdict. Not guilty of first-degree murder, not guilty of manslaughter, not guilty of child abuse. The courtroom was stunned. People across the country were outraged. How could this happen? How could a case that felt so obvious end like this? Casey Anthony walked free, convicted only of lying to law enforcement, but the questions never went away. What really happened to Kaylee? Was it an accident? Was it something intentional? Was justice truly served, or did the system fail? And that is why this case still haunts people to this day, because no matter what you believe, there is one question that remains. If you were in that position as a parent, as an investigator, or sitting on that jury, what would you do?